Hey y'all, I am Carolina Tony.
And Debbie.
The road brings us to the middle of the desert in Arizona. And we are here at Biosphere 2. And I know you're asking right now, what is Biosphere 2? We don't know either, but we're going to find out. You get to come with us. And we'll get started right after this station identification. What we have been told so far is the area around Biosphere is a desert environment. As you can see off in there, that is a pretty desert environment. But inside, it's like a self-contained, for lack of a better word, a little world. It's under a dome, and it is its own environment. As you can see, we're in the desert now, and it appears on the top of those mountains over there is snow. It's probably 60 degrees out here today and kind of windy. But from what I understand, we are going into the tropics. It doesn't rain a whole lot here. You can see this building. It's got a flat roof with a gutter system on it, and that tank right there that's used to collect water. So out in the desert, water is something you don't want to waste, because they only get probably about 12 inches a year here. Biosphere was built in 1987. It actually took them only 3 years to build. The purpose of this was a 2-year mission to see if the team could live inside of Biosphere, being totally self-sufficient. There is a rainforest, a delta, a farm, and everything that they would need to live and grow and survive inside the Biosphere, shut off from the outside world.
The Biosphere project was an attempt to create a balanced and self-sustaining replica of Earth's ecosystem. Now, only 18 months into the project, it probably failed, but that's depending who you ask.
Here's an overview. This is where we're at now. But you see there's a rainforest, an ocean, desert, the south lung. We'll find out what that is in a minute.
The Landscape Evolution Observatory.
This?
Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry.
Right here is the lower habitat.
Of their laboratories. At the very top here is the library. This provided them a 360-degree view of the horizon. The Biospherians rarely use the library due to the long spiral staircase that it took to get up to the top. Over here is the original airlock door. This is where the Biospherians entered and exited the facility.
Very concerned.
This is the dining room where they would have their meals, and now this is the kitchen. And photographs of them preparing the meals. They said they had to get it right because they could not afford to make any mistakes, because there was not products or produce to be wasted. Yeah, if you didn't like it, then you just go hungry. Hospital or clinic said each Biospherean got checked every 8 weeks, regular physical exams, routine and check involved checking their weight, their pulse, blood pressure, blood work, body temperature, eyes, ears, throat, and reflexes.
Not quite 18 months into the project, the oxygen levels of the crew was dropping very low. In fact, they say they could hardly function, so the managers on the outside
Some photographs of when they were constructing it,
in order for them to complete
constructing the ocean system.
There are 10 apartments in the human habitat. Each Biospherean had his or her own two-story apartment. The living room was downstairs and the bedroom was upstairs.
You know, you can't ask yourself why all of this, but you know, just think about the knowledge that can be gained from building and operating something like this on Earth, possibly opening up the possibilities of living in outer space or on other planets where the atmosphere might not be hostile towards human beings.
An extraordinary piece of engineering that was developed to protect the glass units of Biosphere 2 from exploding and imploding when it was a sealed environment. As the sun is heating the building, air inside the building is expanding. And if there hadn't been a release for that air, another place for volume control, air volume control, that building would have blown up. The air moves to that chamber in order to alleviate the pressure of the Biosphere 2 glass building.
We've just come into another section and the feeling is entirely different. It feels like you're outside, even though we're not outside.
At the time, they could not figure out why there was not enough oxygen in the biosphere, because the plants should have held that, but it'd be sometime later before they found out exactly what was going on. They found out that the problem had more to do with carbon dioxide than with oxygen. The soil in the biosphere, and especially the rainforest and savanna areas, which is usually rich in organic material, microbes were metabolizing this material at an abnormally high rate, in the process of which they used up a lot of the oxygen and produced a lot of carbon dioxide. According to their figuring, the plants should have been enough to take care of the excess carbon dioxide to replace oxygen through the photosynthesis, except another chemical action was also taking place. The majority of biosphere was built out of concrete, which contains calcium hydroxide. So instead of being consumed by the plants to produce more oxygen, the excess carbon dioxide was reacting with the calcium hydroxide in the concrete. After the news media caught hold of what was going on, and the general public and the sponsors felt like they had been duped, and it just was not a pretty story. But you have to remember, this was an experiment.
It's called an octopus cactus. Can you see why? It's growing up around this tree. Its tentacles.
Looks like a snake coming off of a crocodile.
In here.
Yeah.
See water. Looks like water down there. tea bush. Look at that tree. The temperature's beginning to change. It is very hot and humid here. Is that the ocean?
We are now in front of the world's largest experimental ocean. This saltwater system is 700,000 gallons of water. It has a wave wall, a heat exchanger that allows us to control the temperature, an artificial reef crest, and all different types of animals. This system has a very unique history. During the original experiment, it was actually a tropical coral reef. They went to the Yucatan Peninsula and collected corals, fish, and invertebrates and placed them inside of Biosphere 2. This system was incredibly successful.
Well, I'm sure everyone wanted to know that the three wise men, one of them took frankincense. Well, here is a frankincense bush right there. And now, you know the rest of the story. There's another view of the ocean. And now we are going into the rainforest. Oh boy. Well, that is going to do it for our trip to Biosphere. It was very interesting. What'd you think?
I think it was very interesting considering that we almost didn't come here, and I'm so glad we did.
Yeah, it was kind of out of the way, but at the last minute we decided we would take a scenic drive, and lo and behold, we're here. It was really great, really interesting how these people did what they did, and the contribution to science I thought was pretty good. You know, they used technology found here to perhaps one day live in outer space. Again, we hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to share with your family and friends. But until next time,
Y'all have a good day.
that's right.